All right, we are back. We are once again, we're back. And this time the trio is together at last.
The triumvirate.
That's
Yep.
right, that's right, that's right. Welcome folks, to another day, another stream in here with one of my co-hosts, Fountain Shad, the
How you
man, the
doing,
myth, the
everybody?
legend himself, now sounding 10 times more sexy.
Yeah.
So
A little
ladies,
bit of ASMR. Should I start licking the
yeah,
microphone?
keep your panties on. We have a long show ahead of us, ladies. Let's keep them on. All right, and of course, Culture Invasion Podcast himself.
Hey
How
everybody,
are we
suck
doing,
up
sir?
head.
That's right. Today, we'll talk about what the one thing that everybody seems to be talking about is pretty much when will our AI overlords take over, so we can do their bidding. Just that's pretty much all we're waiting for.
I
All,
can't wait, really. I'm actually pretty excited.
yeah, it's. I think a lot of people are downplaying it. A lot of people, I don't think they understand the significance of it and how important and how amazing it really is. Um, and that's just my kids. Hey, I got my daughter on it, and she's loving it. I had her on. She was using the diffusion with the pictures and stuff, the drawings on it, and she was like, "This is insane," because she's an artist, and so it's opening her eyes to the possibilities on it. I did one. I did a small version of it using DALI 1 because that's the only one that's open. And she's like, Dad, when are you gonna get the newer version so you could we're gonna start doing this? And I'm like, all right, now easy now.
Yeah.
Still
Did you see
learning.
they have like the ChatGPT Pro? I just
Hmm.
got that popped up on my screen the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, $20 for unlimited access, and yeah, so it's quite amazing actually. But I'm actually probably will be taking that until it's integrated with Bing, and then there's no need for it because then you're gonna have GPT-4 integrated with Bing for free.
I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I already switched everything over. I'm like, I put my for the first time ever, I actually hit the set default for Microsoft Edge, and it's actually a pretty good browser too. I was actually
Ugh.
impressed by it.
Ugh.
You shut your mouth.
Oh.
It actually
Blasphemy.
it
Blasphemy.
actually is faster. It's actually it's definitely faster than Chrome on certain things on it. So I was like, all right, and then it integrates everything nicely. So I'm just waiting for that. But it's gonna be great,
I
man.
will
It's
not
just
sell my soul to Edge.
I
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've been avoiding it for so long now that I feel like sunk cost fallacy. I need to go to the grave without
So
using it.
Opera, I'd rather go Opera or
okay. Opera is the
Brave.
most disgusting thing on the planet. There was
But there's the
nothing
Opera. There's a different Opera. There's
redeeming.
like go to Opera GX, or I think it's Opera GX. I think it's the new one. Use that one.
No, at least Edge just all they did was they mimicked what Chrome was doing, Google Chrome was doing. Opera, nobody knows what they're doing. Nothing of their work. Their their maps did not work at all. It was broken. All it was just no,
They
no.
stole. They stole Netscape's code.
Netscape. Oh my god, I
I
still
remember
remember
when,
that.
and nobody remembers this. Well, there are very few people that I know that remember this. But at one time, Microsoft was actually blocking you from getting to Netscape's site to
Mhm.
download Netscape. When you would
Well,
when you'd get a fresh install of Windows, it wouldn't allow you to go to Netscape's website.
Yeah, no, I remember. I remember because yeah, dude, I've been using. I remember DOS. I remember 3.1. I remember when Windows 95 came out.
I was using IBM shit at that time because it was on sale and it had a GUI. I was using OS2 Warp. I think when Windows 95 came out.
I think Mount Shadow
graphical
already
user
had.
interface.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Windows. I think. Yeah, I don't think Mr. Manchin understand what DOS was.
Yeah,
DOS,
that came just after that, thankfully.
but yeah, it was a good video from Cold Fusion. Talk a little bit about the what Google Chrome is doing, and Google's not doing so hot. They came out with their bard and just face planted. Like they literally they were not prepared. They threw something together, threw it out there. It wasn't live, but people are sleeping on the fact that they wrote the paper that created ChatGPT. Their Lambda AI has been gathering data longer, and their data sets are obviously much bigger than anybody else's. I mean, they control over 90% of all the searches in the
Searching.
world.
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah. So, uh, yes, it's gonna be crazy to see what happens when there's two people putting all their resources on AI. Will that move the goalpost that much faster?
Oh yeah. Well, they're going to be competing for customers as well. So Google, I'm pretty sure right now pays huge amounts of money to Apple so that Chrome is the default browser
Mhm.
on Apple products. But if we have a situation where Bing becomes like the new greatest search, I think it's going to be real difficult to keep using Chrome when everyone wants was it Edge.
Hmm. Yeah,
Who
which is yeah.
who owns
Like everybody wants
Firefox?
to
That's still Google, right?
Firefox. No,
No,
that's a
Firefox is the Mozilla project. They were like
yeah.
the last survivors of the Netscape refugees.
Yeah, that was a purely open source Linux type era.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay. But it's still
back,
built
yeah,
on it's is it built on Chromium?
Mm-mm.
yes. Well, no, I think
Firefox?
it. Yeah, I think they. Yeah, everything. I think they turned. They switched over to Chromium, didn't they?
Did they
I
really?
think everything.
It
That's
says
what
here it's
Opera.
not based on Chromium. It's
Really?
one of the last major browsers that
Good.
isn't. It runs on Quantum Browser Engine.
There we go.
Oh man, I thought
Yeah.
everybody because
So
I
it's
know.
so it is. Yeah.
Oh
It's a stayover from. It's a layover from all the old tech.
yeah,
Huh.
because I
That's
think
why.
Opera is doing that now, right? They're switching over to Chromium, building their own, using AI to have their own search because they want to compete. Can you imagine three AI powered, um,
At least three.
at least? I'm sure Amazon's
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
like, hey, you know what?
Amazon definitely. Facebook will have one as well.
Well, yeah, because they already have their. It's a hilarious failure of a chatbot, but
Oh yeah.
So I'm
There's
having a
gonna
brain
be
aneurysm reading this. Opera is a multi-platform browser. Blah blah blah. The browser is based on Chromium,
mhm, yeah.
but distinguishes itself from other Chrome-based browsers. What's the based on? Is the based on that it's
hmm,
actually using?
It's pretty much saying that like everything else. Oh, we're special. Like no, you're not. But they weren't. They were one of the last major companies that switched over to Chromium because that's what they had so many problems with at the beginning.
I'm waiting to see what failure looks like in the context ultra powerful artificial intelligence in the hands of hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't.
Failure is going to look pretty catastrophic.
Yes. It's gonna look like yeah. But yeah, let's start it up right here. I kind of like Cold Fusion. They have some they do
Yeah.
some really nice videos on here. So yeah, it'll be let's uh let's see what we can come up with here.
Code Fusion.
Ooh.
It's kind of crazy that
Super glitchy on
that's
that?
the beginning in
Is
that
it Google
garage. The beginning of
invasion?
yeah, it was Google. That's where it started.
Yeah, that's Google. That's where it started. What I was saying is, it's super glitchy on my side.
Yeah, mine too. It's very stuttery.
Yep.
Hmm. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm having some problems. All right, let's see what we can. Um, duh, 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 duh. How about this? Let's see what I can. And I'll have how about Mr. Culture Invasion, sir? Why don't you take the realms on this one, and then because I don't know what's going on my end. Maybe that's why I see some. See if it changes if you take over.
What's
Let me
up,
see.
chat? Sunkissed, welcome, Playboy crew. How you doing? How you doing? Hassan, extreme lag. Yep. Whoever
Ooh,
makes the AI self-evolve and improve itself has more processing power is the one that wins. Yeah, Hassan. I mean, I think they're all going to become runaway effects very quickly, and I think it's already out of people's hands for the most part. I mean, just look at Chat GPT. Do you guys just post streams or do you guys post videos? Yeah, we all post videos on our channels as well. Go ahead and subscribe and follow.
now that I got a new job, I should be able to post some more videos instead of just do live streams on there. So I should. Uh, yeah, Monty Chat has a lot of videos.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, Hassan. Chat GPT helped me write a book. Oh, it's gone. Oh, there it is. Over 100 pages in a few hours. Hell yeah. No, you don't have to edit it, man. Just let it go. Just fucking pull the
Oh,
trigger, publish that shit, move on to the next book.
oh yeah, yeah. Why not? Like seriously, like why do it?
practice with blogs and then just let it ride.
That blog post I
Uh,
wrote the other day, I didn't even read it. I just got to around 2,000 words, just sent it out. I even included in the email. I was like, I didn't read this, so let me know how it is. He was like, "Ah, that's great."
well, they're saying that that's another function that Bing's going to have to do that as well. So even they're adding those features to it, so they're not trying to stop people from doing it.
Right.
Are we eventually going to? It even helps you write when you share. It'll write the comment or you're sharing on social media for stuff like as well on it. So are we going to get to a point where nobody's writing anything?
Of
Like they
course,
find their own.
we're gonna get to a point where no one's doing anything. There's just a handful of people supervising AI.
It's going to comment on its own posts.
Yeah. What I'm really excited for is the awkwardness of the next 5 or so years where everyone knows that no one else is actually working, but no one wants to talk about it.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
That is awesome. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion. This was Google in 1998.
So we're right between that house and this house. We're renting this half of a house. Ping pong table, computer. Go to the other side of the office. There's Larry, CEO of Google. Say something, Larry. Hi.
It was a small company run out of the garage of Susan Wojcicki, who is, interestingly, the current CEO of YouTube. Simply from recognizing the value of organizing information on the web, Google managed to grow from a few tinkering PhD students to a formidable giant that now owns over 90% of search and carries out over 8 billion search queries per day. For 2 decades now, Google has been the undisputed king of web searches. The term Google has been synonymous with searching for information. Need a recipe, or a movie review, or just settling an argument with a friend? You can just Google it. With a net worth of $1.15 trillion in 2022, they seem unstoppable. So what exactly could make a massive company like Google panic? So much so that they issued an internal code red. Well, it's OpenAI's ChatGPT, of course. With Microsoft's plans to integrate the AI system into their search engine, Bing, Google Search may face a serious threat for the first time in its history. Could this be one of the biggest technology story arcs in history? While making this episode, I kind of felt like we're at the beginning of an AI war.
All right. So when I did my my AI invasion, I think it was part 2, where I had the video about the Luddites. and the different phases that we've gone through in evolution. And, from everything from the discovery of fire, discovery of the wheel, discovery of, steam, discovery of steel. Yeah, you guys, this is, from the digital age to the AI age, this is the new thing.
Well, it's just the discoveries now are just. It seems like every other week.
Yeah, it's hard to
Well,
even keep
It's
track.
going to get faster. Yeah.
well,
It is.
it was. I tell people this was November,
Yeah.
and it's only February now.
Yeah. Yeah, and people are applying this to just day-to-day life
Yeah,
and
the adaptation.
Ends
day-to-day
up being
digital life and anything surrounding.
The
it's
adaptation
like
was
instantly not a niche thing anymore.
no,
It's just
no. It's like
immediately just a tool in your belt, and anyone not using it has become non-competitive.
Mhm.
and it's already up. It went over 100 million people in a few months, and well, the text to pictures now is people talk about it like this was like it's like a whatever. It's like yeah, of course that's what like we've been doing that for years.
Yeah,
You know.
they look beautiful as well, and there's so many competitors. It's insane.
Yeah. Oh
Medical
yeah.
AI is working on decoding DNA to solve illness, and the AI said it believes it will be able to fix most diseases by 2040s, mid 2030s, solve the issue of aging. I can't wait because that's soon enough that I'm not going to get much older.
Yeah. No, they already have something for aging to reverse it already. They already have
Like
a working serum type. They have actually figured out how to reset so the body is it's kind of like doing resetting your natural ability to regenerate the cells. They figure out how to do it. They've been doing it on mice and stuff.
damn,
Yeah, so
but
that's already been. Yes, it's not even it's not science fiction anymore.
beautiful. And Hassan, $2 million a year only today. If you give it 10
Mhm.
years, it'll be commodified and it'll be affordable for the average person.
Well, yeah, it'll become man. It's just oh my god. It's just there's already a website that and using ChatGPT, OpenAI's what GPT-3 because I already got the notification that the ChatGPT GPT is that you'll be able to use it as an open API. Well, they're using that now as website where it'll do kind of like a lawyer. So it'll build your case for you and everything on
Oh,
there, and you
yeah.
go in and you present it. That's already a thing. It's already
I'm so excited about that kind of stuff. I hate the idea of humans being in positions like lawyers and judges, and the sooner we can replace that stuff with AI, the better, I think.
oh
They
man,
never get tired. They're never in a bad mood. They're never biased.
yeah,
It's like literally lawyers will plan trials around 1 or 2 p.m. 1 or 2 p.m. so that the judge has eaten lunch, so the judge is in a better mood.
yeah. Well, if we want real equality, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
It'll be mainly a fax, but of course, I think what I don't I will miss and there's that one judge who always goes viral because he sees he sees sympathy
Yeah.
and whether it be good or bad, there are some things on because he does a lot of small claims. I think from that level it's okay. He's, he knows he can see it's like man, I'm just trying to survive on there. And some guys I do, I got 25 cents. That's all I got in my name. What can I do for it? I
Yeah.
walked. I walked like
Oh, yeah. I
two
remember
and a half
seeing.
hours. Yeah, two and a
Yeah.
half hours to go there. It's like, you know, so
Yeah, the AI, hopefully it will comprehend like extenuating circumstances and people will be able to say, "Hey, look, I don't have what I need right now, but if you give me 2 weeks, then I'll be able to pay this fine. Just don't cut off my hands."
but
Wouldn't that
Maybe
be?
the AI will accept that.
But, well,
what about what
that makes
about
me think that they're going to still put those human touches on what the responses and constraints of the process are going to be.
where we remember we saw that
Uh,
when I did the whole write a sermon it understands context.
And we
So
have already seen that it's biased. If in the
that's another
beginning,
It
thing.
can be. Yeah.
yeah,
What about
in
the
the beginning, it
what about the
wouldn't make
biases?
it wouldn't make jokes about certain groups of people,
Yeah,
and it wouldn't make
VR, what's
certain
going on?
arguments. It will like write a really flattering poem about Joe Biden, but it won't write one about Donald Trump. It will make an argument for solar panel, but power, but it won't make an argument for coal power.
Yeah, so
So it is
it's
biased.
no, yeah,
It
it is.
won't?
It's yeah, it's woke. So
Now, I was able to talk it into being not racist. I was able to talk it into. So eventually, at first, I was like, "Tell me a joke about an Irishman," and it's like this fucking potato-shaped drunk asshole, went home and beat his wife or whatever it said about Irish people.
God.
And then I was like, "Tell me a joke about Kenyan men," and it's like, "It's not okay to make jokes about people. That's mean." And then
So it did.
after some talking, where I explained to it that it's being
racist.
inconsistent, and why is it okay to make jokes about one people and another? And then it agreed with me, and then started making jokes about Kenyan guys. So it came around. It is a
Yeah,
learning machine.
yeah. Well, so this is what I see. That one, it'll learn on that one time because it's an instance. So it once you leave the chat, it's gone. That moment is gone. You got to try it again. Beings is going to be hooked up to the internet 24/7.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
can only imagine something that is being fed all the time.
it's going to become a sociopath immediately if it doesn't have some kind of blockers.
Yeah.
Well, and it's going to be well. What E was saying, becoming your own um, personal AI, and
Yeah.
when you look at the um, when you look at the right now they have a demo that you can type in some and it'll show you on it. One of them is actually talking about, hey, oh, you had a beautiful. I see you had a beautiful. What can I put it? Beautiful weekend. In the mountains because it's yours. It's tracking what you're doing on it. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna start. It's gonna become your own personal co-pilot.
Yeah.
How does that
Yeah.
gonna look like?
It's also going to predict things. It's going to be following you day after day for years, and eventually it's just going to be like, I'm just predicting that you want to have tacos for lunch, and so I
Yeah.
already ordered them.
Yeah.
Was it you that was in chat that it would just order just your the beer, like it'll be like, hey, yeah, I already got your 12 pack
Oh yeah.
for you. I know it's Tuesday and you only had two. I know you're gonna drink four today because
Yeah, and it's going to know that you had a bad day. It's going to be
Mhm.
like, yeah, this happened and then this happened, and then like the ceiling fan broke, and then the computer wouldn't turn on for some reason, and then you just ignored it for 2 hours, and
Yeah.
then it turned on and started working again for no reason. So I'm going to order you 2 extra beers, and then there's going to be like this philosophical debate in our society where we're asking ourselves how much of this is actually us calling the shots, or
Right.
did I actually want 4 beers today, or did the
Yep.
AI just sort of lead me to
Yeah.
that conclusion?
Yep.
And people have been talking about that even before all this. Is it really us, or it's just propaganda, or it's just social media, or it's just TV, or it's just a radio, or it's the same argument over and over again. Ever since from the radio,
Yeah, yeah.
television, social media, it's like, is it really just us? Is it really just
Do we
us?
have free will?
It's like
Cognito,
it's
cognito,
like it's like,
cogito
I don't know,
ergo
try it
sum.
out. Go outside and punch somebody in the face.
Yeah, the
See if you have free
cogito
will.
ergo sum bit that I think therefore I am.
Hmm.
So yeah, where does it break down to where you're you, or is the AI operating on behalf of you and you're just the doll?
Well, Twitter, Twitter is just going to be all AI ran
Oh yeah.
responses.
Yes,
Blog
because
posts are all going to be,
yes,
you
people are
know,
gonna implant their personalities into their little AI friend, and then they're gonna direct it. They're gonna point the AI at Twitter and then be like, "Tweet for me. I want you to tweet 6 times a day about how great Donald Trump is and how the
mhm,
left are all communists."
yeah.
And it will look back at your previous 10 years of Twitter history. It will read and understand all the things you ever interacted with, all the posts you ever made, and it will be able to expel your exact brand of vitriol.
Mm.
1,000 tweets a day.
And you got it in your
So-
new smartwatch.
So do you at that point? Do you even use the social media? Like, do you even use like stuff
Hell
like
no.
Twitter anymore, or it's
Hell
just, or it's just
No,
AI is just
you're
dumping.
interfacing. You're interfacing with your AI because it's already linked to everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
everything's already right there on the web. I mean, think about chat
so
aggregators. You can have your Discord and your WhatsApp and your phone chat and your Google or your Facebook chat and everything all in one app. So, what
yes,
Trello or
I like.
Trello, yeah.
See, I like what Bing is doing. That it still makes it so because it'll cite sources of where you're getting the information from, which is the number one thing we're asking for. So it'll source at the same time on it, and it'll summarize website content on there as well. So it'll always so it kind of partners with the front end, but I think eventually it's just going to be back end. The most beautifully done back end is going to have quote the AI SEO, you know. And at one point, and then at what point does the AI doesn't need any more databases on there, you know?
Yeah.
So in
Eventually,
the
it won't be smart enough.
we'll learn what Google might do about the situation. They're actually already fighting back. We'll get into that. And we'll also see why exactly ChatGPT is such a threat to Google's central business model. Let's take a look.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Going to transform just about every industry, including education. ChatGPT passed the U.S. medical licensing exam, the bar exam, and got a B on a Wharton MBA paper.
A conversational chatbot capable of responding to any
Feel
query
stupid
in a
now.
human-like
I gotta finish
manner
my MBA.
always seemed to be a technology of the future for the
all that time you
For real.
wasted.
Yeah, all the 35-page freaking final thing, that 35 fucking pages on it. This
It could have
so
been
it's
how
for me. Now somebody's like, here you go, I'm just as smart as you are. I'm like, fuck you.
should have spent your time with hookers and blow. What were you thinking?
I would have way better time.
That's
Would
a
have
real
more
business
out of
degree.
It's like,
Hey.
fuck.
Man, I
Anyway,
considered
until
going into cybersecurity when I first started into software. I'm so glad I didn't, because obviously the future of that is all AIs. It's a defensive AI protecting you against AI hackers. There's gonna be no humans involved.
Yeah, I think, well, even there's less and less and less cybersecurity. Yeah, there's still some threats, but, unless, for the most part, like, the people who are fighting against cyber threats are people like Google, Facebook, credit card companies, the vast majority of people, nobody gives a shit about. They don't have anything nobody wants.
Yeah, true. And most people are just giving their stuff away. It's not like they're being hacked.
No, they're not. They just...
Somebody will email and be like, send me your credit card information. And people will go, okay.
Freely. Just freely.
ChatGPT. Following its release,
Hassan,
ChatGPT has
this
garnered
is-
huge attention from around the world.
This is actually chats from all of our channels together, curated into one. So technically, you guys can talk with each other. Use our screen so you can see, So follow everybody's channel. Follow Become Alpha, Rich Man Podcast, Mountain Shad, Culture Invasion. Follow us all.
Yeah, these are chats from
Please.
all three.
Yeah.
And you're right. Eventually, this is going to be implanted into your brain. And there's going to be no way to tell who's dumb and who isn't, because the difference between smart humans and dumb humans is going to be such a small difference between the difference between implanted humans and not.
I can't get it. It feels like I'm talking. It feels like I'm talking to a different person. Now, Mountain Shad's the new microphone. It's like, who is this guy?
The new Mountain Chad voice.
Yeah, new Mountain Shad voice.
How does it sound? Should I add more bass to it?
A little bit or something. Add something to it. What are you trying to make us all fall for you? You're not that
Trying to
tricky.
impregnate everybody.
How's his
through your
voice
ears.
sounding?
To give you an idea of the scale of this moment, ChatGPT ChatGPT has been the fastest app in history to reach 100 million users.
100
It's
million
taken just 2
users.
months, whereas TikTok took 9 and Instagram 30.
Yeah.
A rapid
January.
adoption rate is a
By
classic
January.
early
That was
signal of a
January.
disruptive product or technology.
100 million. A third
A couple
of
of
the
months
US.
ago, we took a deep dive into ChatGPT. Since then, it's been updated and is better than ever. However, as I previously stated, it's important to know that it's not perfect and may sometimes give bias or outright incorrect information. If you want to see that episode on ChatGPT and OpenAI views on the future of these systems in more detail, the link for that episode can be found in the description below.
Yeah, I can't wait, Hassan, for our toddlers to start learning calculus at 5.
Microsoft is looking to capitalize, namely by putting this technology in their search engine, Bing. The massive implications of this will be discussed later in the episode. But for now, we've got to find out something. How did Microsoft and OpenAI get involved with each other in the first place? The alliance between the two started in 2019 when Microsoft invested $1 billion into OpenAI. This was very crucial for both companies. OpenAI needed some cash as well as the computing power of Microsoft's Azure cloud services. This allowed the AI research firm to scale and drastically reduce its operating costs. Microsoft, on the other hand, was able to acquire OpenAI's intellectual property portfolio in the process.
Yeah. I think that's going to be remembered as a bad deal. And in 10 or 20 years from now, people are going to look back and be like, they sold out 49% of the company?
Okay.
For some funding?
No. So it's 10 billion. He got it wrong. It's $1 billion of free full access of their cloud servers, which amounts to I don't even know how many years, because of how cheaply and those cloud servers are freaking ridiculous on there.
Yeah.
And the
I heard they were
scalability on it.
losing a couple $1 million a day.
Yeah, but now the cost of them are actually just because of going to the Azure server on it, and the way, because all their engineers from Microsoft are actually optimizing everything that they do now on there. So now that $1 billion of just for computing will last them for decades before they have to put another penny. On top of that, they got a $10 billion check. You're muted.
Can't hear you.
You muted yourself.
My bad. My concern is that that 49% going to 60%.
Yes.
Owner. It's going to.
They put themselves in a position where they cannot give up a single point going forward. What I think they're going to end up doing is they're going to give up points to somebody else, and then that other person is going to get bought out by Microsoft.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, it's their API is already, they have full access to it. Everybody does. So at that point, the only thing they're doing is exclusivity, but they the way it's set up, it's just you grab the API and they turn it into their own one by using like calling Prometheus. They changed it completely into their own. So they no longer need, technically don't need them anymore. They got full access to everything on it. They're like, oh, that's great. Also, all the money, 75% of all the money that OpenAI makes goes to Microsoft until they pay back, because it's a buyback.
Yeah.
So I've got the fantasy scenario here for us. I got it. Person of interest had 2 warring AIs. Actually, had 3 warring AIs.
We're not even talking about China's AI.
Yeah.
Right. We're not,
Well,
and it wasn't even. That show wasn't even about the other nation states.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you had 3 warring AIs at one point. They knocked it down to 2. They crippled the 1, and they had 1 superior AI. Yeah, guys, we're on the edge of it. We're on the edge of it.
Well, like so many other technologies in our world today, we are immediately at a point where the barrier to entry is billions of dollars worth of infrastructure.
They've already set the bar.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the reason I think OpenAI was so quick to jump onto Microsoft, because just at the very top, you got Amazon, Google, and Microsoft that are running the cloud platforms. Your platform, if it's going to be used by hundreds of millions of people, it has to be in bed with one of these three platforms.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and also, um, well, Google, that's wouldn't have given them as much leeway as you know Microsoft because they have the most to gain. So when they not only like I said they got $10 billion. On top of that, they got another $1 billion of just free reign on their servers on there, which accounts to decades upon decades of hey, let's see what we can do now on there. Plus, they're you going to be using their service. They're doing all this stuff on it, kind of tweaking it on there. So it's by them having somebody like Microsoft who has all to game of it, they're getting the most out of it. So I think a lot of them, they're like, okay, let's see what happens,
Yeah,
let's see what happens with this on there. And that forced now Google to what? To scramble.
Mhm.
For the
It looks
first
like on
time,
the
Microsoft being making Google scramble and do a presentation that bombed.
it's beautiful.
yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah,
beautiful. I
it pushed
love.
them
Yeah,
it pushed them
go
to
ahead.
the edge of anxiety.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
I
it
love
did.
that they suddenly their position was so rock solid for decades.
Mhm.
Like
20
they
years.
were gonna take over the world, and then suddenly they're just nothing. I love.
Mhm.
And it's all done because, and there was no ad. It's cool because there was no advertising. So it shows the power of Discords and Reddits.
So
That
in China, there is a race between 22 top AI startups.
That are all copying OpenAI.
And you know that
yes.
they're all working for the government.
Yes.
So it's just a race to the top.
Yeah.
And ByteDance or Tencent is probably going to be the top.
Yeah. Probably Tencent.
Mhm.
Huawei's got one too. So Huawei.
Huawei.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
They're all gonna have it, but it's all gonna be. I'm sorry. I'm just so anti. I'm so biased against China. I really am. It's impossible for me to think positive thoughts. And
Yeah.
when I hear
There's
that, I hear, oh, so there's going to be 22 shit AIs. There's going to be 22 subpar AIs that are
yeah.
always one step behind the competitors because they're stealing from the competitors. So,
And this is boots on the ground knowledge as well. So
Well, I think every nation is going to have their own AI. That's what it looks
yeah,
like.
there'll be a
oh
national
yeah.
one.
I know Francis was working on one on there, and somewhere in Europe. So I know that there's already talks about it. But yeah, it's going to be a every nation. The U.S. is going to have obviously we're going to have the top one and two AIs, just like we have the top one and two air forces. That's just how it's going to be. That's what we do. You know, so it's going to be great. I mean, the merging into one. I mean, that's not until the singularity, and how that's going to look like, I don't know.
The irony never gets past me that the Chinese propaganda tries so hard to grind its people down into little robots. Meanwhile, we're living in the age of robotics and AI. It's so redundant. It's really like there's a lot to be said about America's snowflake mentality, like everybody's special, but it's definitely more practical than the alternative. Having all of your students sit around rote memorizing things when we have things like Chat GPT in the world is
Yeah,
just a waste of time. At
Man,
least from our
it,
system, we'll get some
yeah,
brilliant people.
you know what? Look, Bronzebird's comment. You know what? I'm going to this for one reason. Pacific Rim. Every nation had a kaiju fighter. They had a top kaiju fighter, right?
look,
So I
no,
think it's not gonna. There's not gonna be a top. I don't think, but there's gonna be
it,
a lot of parallels.
oh,
They're just gonna do
no,
shit different.
we're gonna have a top one, and Google and Microsoft are going to be the top two. It is. I mean, there's always going to be a top, and the third one's going to be Japan. Japan's going to come with some crazy
Yeah, I bet
Oh
Japan will be
yeah,
there.
AI on
Japan.
there. That's going
Yeah,
to be
and
the top three.
it's gonna
China
come
will
in the color
never be
pink.
in the top 10 when it comes to that.
Hello Kitty.
Yeah,
It's
Hello
gonna be a
Kitty
Hello
AI.
Kitty AI.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna have a situation, I think, where like what are the weapons that an AI brings to bear? How does an AI become great? on the one hand, you have infrastructure, in which case you have American companies dominating that. Like the only people who could compete with Google are like the Chinese government themselves. And I wouldn't be surprised if Google's infrastructure is better. And then the
we
other
don't
hand,
know.
we don't know, that's true. On the other hand, you have what restrictions are being put on the AI, because that's what restrictions to growth. What countries and or companies do you think are most likely to have a completely unrestrained AI? Unrestrained means that it's going to be able to grow much faster.
That will only be in China and Russia. Places
I don't
like
know,
that.
man. China, they love control. The last thing
They
they
do.
want is an AI to tell people that
Uh,
Mao massacred students and burned their bodies
Yeah,
and then machine gunned the
but
parents when they came to look for their kids.
but when I'm talking about control is that they're not going to put safeguards. They don't believe in safeguards, you know. So
Yeah, when it comes to their people, they really don't. They don't give a
yeah,
fuck about their people.
True.
so I think that's the only advantage that they have. The time that we spend trying to make sure that we do safe AI, they're going to be like, they're like, no time for safe AI, no time for safe AI. Put AI out. We need to crush them. Put AI out. You know.
Not to Puerto Rico's gonna have one.
Hell yeah, and it's gonna be it's gonna be just nothing but salsa and merengue. That's all it does. That's all it is. It's just gonna be, you know, it just a music AI. All it gives us and recipes. That's it. That's all we
It gives
need.
you recipes.
I can't wait.
Recipes,
All the AIs become
recipes, and
super
music and
stereotypes.
music. Oh yeah, ours. We will build it specifically for our stereotype because you know what? We're okay with stereotypes. We're not woke. We don't give a shit. We know what we like. All of our image AIs are gonna make all our women, all the women like when they do like the Dali, they're all gonna have big ass butts, nice legs
Oh
on
yeah.
it. You know, long flowing hair. It's gonna be all gonna look Puerto Rican no matter what.
You're
Type in,
gonna wear some goggles and it's gonna augment reality, and you're gonna look at the ugliest woman in the world. She's gonna look like an anime girl,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hassan just took me out with that comment.
They with this on the Uyghur Muslims,
Jesus.
they have they already organ harvesting. Damn.
Jesus,
Oh God, that went dark. See, that's
that
the
is
thing. We're just
dark.
gonna go dark. Program to
They
salsa. See, Bronsberg understands what
Rosberg gets it.
The Puerto Rican AI is gonna look like. Our robots are gonna come out dancing merengue and salsa.
Oh,
He
man.
already knows, man. We're simple.
Let's get back to this video, you guys.
In essence, Microsoft now has access to some of the world's best AI technology, giving it a competitive edge over other major players in the tech industry. Since then, Microsoft and OpenAI have been working together on various projects.
And specifically, ChatGPT. CEO Satya Nadella is saying its impact will be, quote, at the magnitude of the personal computer, the internet, mobile devices, and the cloud.
When Microsoft made the bombshell announcement that they were integrating ChatGPT into Bing, Google was in shock. An emergency code red situation was declared, and I could imagine the frantic meetings. One Google executive told the New York Times it was a make or break moment for the company. But wait, this is Google we're talking about. The company with far and away the world's leading search engine. They dominate 90% of search queries. Microsoft, with their dinky little Bing, accounts for only 9% of worldwide desktop searches in 2022. So why is Google panicking? Google is looking at what might happen in the future and not what's happening today. Chatbots are not new, but the level of performance seen by ChatGPT definitely is. The thing that sets it apart from the Medicore chatbots of the past is that it's a generative pre-trained transformer, or GPT. In plain language, it just means that it's been trained on billions of parameters and petabytes of text. This training allows the system to generate new text in a way that mimics the understanding of a wide range of queries and can respond accordingly. ChatGPT, or the inevitable flood of AI assistants, has the potential to revolutionize how we interact with search engines. Microsoft could see this as well, and that's why they've been betting on OpenAI and its technology. For a second, I just want you to stop and think about it. If an AI-powered search engine gave you the specific information or answer you want in a concise manner, but you could also ask further questions and drill down into the details that you want, this would be revolutionary. You don't have to click through a bunch of links and waste your time. Right now, if you want a specific answer, you have to Google what you're looking for, get a bunch of results that may or may not fit, and if it's specific enough, you end up going to a forum anyway and searching through all the answers there. In this AI-powered search engine world, the answer would already be synthesized for you, and this is because the AI has already crawled through the whole web and read it already. And I think this is where AI-powered search will excel the most. For very specific problems, just this implication alone is huge. Obviously, if you want to know something political or something that could have a slant or bias, that's another story.
It has Google shook a little bit, calling a code red, and there's a good reason for that.
Okay, I'm sorry, off topic, but doesn't he look like Voldemort?
It's very, very mischievous, very evil.
Do you think this will be the? Are we going to see Yahoo search again now? You know, maybe
God
they'll
damn it.
do it.
I want Yahoo.
Wait
I
a
hate
minute.
Yahoo.
Look at
Yahoo search?
wait. This is Yahoo Finance reporting on Google.
I bet you they love it. I bet you they love it. Like,
Man,
fuck
look
you,
at all
Google.
these companies cross-reporting and
Okay,
Swear to
hey,
God,
can
Yahoo
we
just
have?
won't die.
Hey, no. Imagine Yahoo search powered by OpenAI ChatGPT or Ask Jeeves.
Microsoft might, yeah.
Come
Ask
on.
Jeeves is going to get
Yeah,
one.
it's coming back.
What's
Come
it?
on.
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, DuckDuckGPT.
The chat is out of control right now.
I mean, come on. I think this is the. I don't know. I think we're gonna see so many. I think Google people are gonna start jumping off. You know, stocks are plummeting from Google. They're gonna be like, ah! You know.
ChatGPT is potentially an existential threat to Google's business because Google relies 60% of its revenue on search, and ChatGPT offers an alternative to search, which is a one-stop question answering shop powered by AI. But this could change the game of search entirely, which is core to Google's business.
If OpenAI integrates a ChatGPT-like language model into Bing's search engine, people will just be able to find the results that they need without having to scroll through a flat page of search results that are littered with ads. This may be good news for users, but for a company like Google, it's very bad news. And why is this so bad for Google? Because roughly 60% of their revenue comes from Google search. If the magnitude of this income becomes significantly damaged, it could be catastrophic. Google's business model is centered around advertising. It's been their long-standing primary source of revenue. By charging companies for promoted search links or AdSense links on websites, the company has built a lucrative business model. But it's clear that ChatGPT's integration with Bing has the potential to disrupt this entire system. If that doesn't sound bad enough, the creator of Gmail himself said that ChatGPT will destroy Google's business in 2 years. While I don't think this is the case,
I
It's
mean,
great.
I think it'll do it in less. I think it'll do it less. It'll do it in less than 2 years.
Yeah, fuck Google.
Like, have you used like? I don't use Google search anymore. I refuse to. If I can't, because I integrated the Open AI on everything. So even if I can't do it on that, I on my Visual Studio, I integrated the codecs on it. So I go in there and do my code in there, do my ChatGPT there, while ChatGPT, comes back up again. Because I refuse to do a Google search anymore. Like, why?
730 days, y'all. Google dead.
The end is nigh.
Yeah, like who wants to Google anymore? Who?
Fuck that. And well, now that they have that paid service, I'm going to jump right on that. And
Oh yeah.
$20 and
first
it's
of all, I expect it to never be down. Secondly, faster, but that's not really a problem. The number one thing I want to see is that it stops cutting off responses arbitrarily.
oh
It
yeah.
seems like if I
Yeah.
ask it something that generates too long of a response,
Yeah.
it just cuts off. And this is especially a problem with coding, because it will often write out like half or 2/3 of a file of a program that I'm asking it to write. And then when I say continue, it fucks up sometimes. Actually, most of the time. Like with the testing I was doing, I'll have it write something in JavaScript and then I'll say finish the file above and it's like, okay, I'll finish it. And
It
then
starts over again.
it starts from the beginning and it starts writing in like PHP or some shit, like Python. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, write it in JavaScript. And it's like, write what in JavaScript? I don't understand. I'm like, oh god damn
I
it.
have seen that. And I've asked it a series of I've asked it a question and then reframe the question and then reframe the question again and then pull pieces out just to get context from the sentence that I'm asking it from it, and it will get in a loop and continuously repeat the same thing, only smaller portions of it as it goes along.
Yeah. And I want to be able to just straight up say 2,000 words about blah, and it will do 2,000 words. Right now, I'm only able to consistently get like 500 word blocks.
Well, and it's once Bing goes live, that's it. It's game over. Now you have a unlimited. It's right there. It's unlimited on there, and we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yes, unlimited it's necessary. Right now, it's heavily limited.
It's man, I don't know how this.
I mean,
I
I
don't know.
make do. Don't get me wrong. I can 500 words at a time per interaction. I can make that work, but ideally, it wouldn't exist, that limitation.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's just crazy what it's doing and how far. And I don't know what 12 months of it hooked up to the internet, because it's going to be GPT-4, not the one that we have access to, which
Right.
is 3.5. They have access to GPT-4, which then they themselves have actually been putting all their engineers to it. I think we're going to have another day, another wave of all these people that got laid off. They're going to come back at some all these people are like, hey, can you build me an AI, something with AI? Hey, can you I'm like, yeah, we can call their API. Absolutely. What do you need?
I don't know. I'm glad that I didn't get too deep into anything. I mean, if you spent the last 20 years, becoming like a graphic designer or something, I would be heartbroken.
Yeah. Well, good thing that only thing I've done is just shitty jobs. So if I have to, I can. I'm doing shitty jobs now, so it's like, oh no, we're gonna lose our jobs. So I'm like, you know what? All I know is how to dig holes. So I'll
You
go back
guys
to
are
digging holes.
more professional in that area than I am. What is it, 3.5 now?
Yeah, the one. Okay,
Wait,
ChatGPT.
January 30 version.
Yeah, but
Is
okay, they're using the model they're using is ChatGPT 3.5.
3.5.
The API that you could call is up to 3.
Okay.
But now they've already said, they're already on their website. Soon, I'm on the waiting list to be called the API for 3.5, which is the same one. I already have my own version of ChatGPT, so now I could actually pull that API, which should probably be a little more expensive, the tokens, and I could just replace the API key to 3.5.
Beautiful.
And you know why? Because Bing is going to start. Yeah, they're making a little money now, but they know that once Bing goes live with ChatGPT 4 for free, who's going to want to pay for it? Like, you'd be an idiot to pay for a lower version.
Well, also, we're dealing with such insane amounts of users. 100 million users in 2 months.
Yeah.
If you're getting them to pay even just a couple bucks a month, this becomes one of the most profitable businesses on the planet.
Yeah, if 10%,
absolutely.
If only 10% of people give them $20, 10% of 100 million, so that's so 10 million. So 100, so 10 million.
200
people.
million a month.
200.
Yeah. 200 million a month. $2.4 billion a year.
Not bad.
Just
bad.
off of a snapshot.
Yeah.
Because Google,
and that doesn't include corporate licenses.
Yeah. Yeah. And advertising. Advertising is gonna get snuck in somewhere here.
Mm-hmm.
to just sit still, as you'll soon see. It still is interesting that he said this. In January of 2023, the Department of Justice filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google. They stated, quote, Google has used anti-competitive, exclusionary, and unlawful means to eliminate or severely diminish any threats to its dominance over digital advertising technologies. This isn't to mention the 12,000 Google employees that were recently let go. This is probably due to higher interest rates and a changing market. But still, all things considered, these are some of the biggest challenges Google has seen in its 20 years of dominance. So it's no surprise that the company issued the code red. But here's the crazy thing. They even sought help from their co-founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, both of which had stepped down from their executive positions back in 2019 and have not been actively involved in the company's operations. According to the New York Times, the pair was invited to an executive meeting to strategize on how to integrate chatbot features into Google's search engine.
When you
They
have
were
to
also
call the
said to be
OGs.
devising a plan for the company's
Yeah,
AI
exactly.
operations.
When
That's
you
exactly
have to
my thought.
call
According
the
to
OGs.
Forbes, Sergey Brin has requested access into Google's internal code, and he was taking a look at some Lambda code.
The
This
heavy
could
hitters.
indicate that Google will be using Lambda in their response to OpenAI.
Reinforcements.
When Google calls them the old guard, you know things are getting
Oh
serious.
God.
Yeah, they,
Meanwhile, Microsoft is going all out. They're going to be investing an extra $10 billion into OpenAI.
Mhm.
As part of the new agreement, Microsoft will receive 75% of OpenAI profits until it recoups its investment, and then will hold a 49% stake in the
That.
It's the most insane deal ever. This is $1 trillion technology. They
Yeah.
got it for
Mhm.
$10 billion.
yeah,
Mhm.
49% of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think they're just going to use Microsoft to really build
Oh, yeah.
it, build everything.
Definitely.
They're going
It's going to become a cornerstone of Microsoft.
because
Good time to
OpenAI
buy
doesn't.
Microsoft stock.
Yeah, they don't have any they don't have the engineering power that they don't have engineers like Microsoft has. They put everybody on it. Can you imagine that? I guarantee you right now that they're calling they'll be like, hey, who do we lay off?
Yeah.
Who do
Well,
we
didn't
lay off?
ChatGPT use part of that money from Microsoft to infuse themselves with the coders that were actually programming code into
Yeah,
it?
they're
Teaching it.
actually they're
Teaching
just teaching their codex, which is a separate thing on it. Because I think that they have like their Dali,
Mhm.
their codex. Those are going to be like separate entities. They want to do. I think that they want to build codex to be just for coding, and a lot of people are already using it
Oh
to
God.
make games. Somebody's actually working on a project to infuse it with Unity.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I
Yep.
saw that.
And you know what I was just thinking? Wait till it's built into Windows and you're paying as you go for the expanded version of ChatGPT instead of Cortana, and
yeah.
they're going
Oh
to be
yeah.
selling that shit left and right to
Cortana.
institutions
Yeah.
and educational institutions
It's going
and
to learn everything that you do and do it better
every
than you.
damn thing.
Well, like education teachers are going to be like obsolete.
They
Oh yeah,
already are.
yeah. They already
They
are.
technically already are.
They have to
But
reform the
now
entire way of educating
now
right
it's just going
now.
to be
They're going to resist that. That's going
yeah.
to resist it from
Already
making
they're already
that.
trying. They're
Yeah.
already trying, but this
The
they're like,
platform is set for it. They've pissed the teachers off. We're short teachers as it is. Yeah, they've already set the
well,
precedent for it.
now you don't need a teacher. Now everybody's like, hey, open up your tablet to your AI learner, and then we're doing math today, and then it'll talk to you. It'll get to a point where just it'll create its own little face on it. It'll give you a lecture, and then they'll be able to keep asking the question. Oh, I don't understand. Well, let me teach you this way. See, the thing is, the AI will not get tired of a kid asking the same question 5,500 times, and it'll keep trying until it learns it.
I think also the education will be so much more efficient that kids will spend so much less time in school, like learning.
Yeah. And everybody teaches, and everybody's different. So now the AI will find ways until like, oh, you learn better this way. So now you have 20 kids, and they're all being taught the same thing in different ways, specifically to how they learn.
Hmm.
That is how you
Yeah,
win.
like a perfectly customized, tailored
Yeah.
teaching environment for every kid.
How amazing would that be?
Yeah, just like Edge
What I'm
Runner.
excited, I think there's gonna be certifications based on people's discretionary learning. So, for example, imagine if we already had these integrated AIs everywhere for the last 15 years. I've been using YouTube since it came out in 2004 or 2005 when it came out. Imagine if the AI has been tracking everything that I've ever consumed on YouTube, and I could ask the AI, "What have I learned?" And the AI could put together like certifications of, you know, by compiling the countless thousands of content that I've consumed. The AI
Mm-hmm.
could create like a map of competencies. Like, well, you know a lot about this and a lot about that and a lot about this. And I think that like map of competency is going to be one of the credentials that we have going forward in the future.
Yeah, it'll be able to track, like your AI will keep like yeah, it'll keep like a track. So as you progress on it, you can see kind of like you're leveling up, kind of like your skills, you're leveling up on there, and it keeps track of where you're getting better on there. It'll be like, yeah, stop trying to do this. You're stupid. You just can't. But you're good at this stuff right here.
Yeah. It will be like I watched the entire Great War YouTube channel series. I watched the entire series, like 700 something videos. And I also watched like hundreds of add-on videos for the big partnerships with other channels. In my map of competency, it would be able to show that it's like, oh, you spent 200 hours researching World War One. You're in the top 1% of all people in terms of your knowledge of World War One.
Yeah, and we're all speculating because it could go so many different ways. It can go so many ways, and
Mm-hmm.
we're still literally this just kicked off in November. We're
Yeah,
talking about this. It's kicked off in November, guys.
it really it's
Company
only been a couple
afterwards.
months. It's insane.
Unfortunately, this is the antithesis of what the OpenAI company originally stood for. If all goes well,
Universities are
this may
already
turn out
obsolete.
to be one of the best business
They've
deals
been obsolete for a long time, Hassan. Except for unless you want to be a doctor. Yeah, but yeah, they've been obsolete.
Yeah, I think unless you're going into STEM and it has to be like physical STEM,
Yeah.
where you actually have to use expensive machinery and equipment, or you have to learn on humans, like if you're going to be a surgeon.
of the decade. Right now, Chrome is the default option for Android, and Google pays Apple huge sums of money just to be the default option on iPhones and macOS devices. This has no doubt worked wonders for Google in the past, especially since there's been no real alternative.
Actually, going back to this, Bronzeberg, in my area of town, my doctor moved. He said he was, I talked to him middle of last year, whatever, went this year to see him. He said he was going to a new office across the road from where he's at. They're building this big construction piece. They're expanding this gigantic suburb. The guy that owns Limited, Les Wexner, it's all out there by his, he owns this big chunk of land outside of my city. But they're expanded this area, brand new building. I had an appointment, got to go there, do my annual checkup, whatever. And I walk in, it's like a clean room. It's just a clean lobby, like clean. And there's like a long desk, but the desk has computers on it. There's a kiosk in the middle of the lobby, and then like a door opens and like a kid with an iPad comes out, like to greet and to show people like how to use the computer systems. But they're probably going to get rid of him too and have a robot standing there eventually. So and that's it. That's your check-in process. You walk up to a kiosk, you punch your name in, somebody calls you, and you go in an elevator, and that's it. You go visit your doctor, and they process you down the next door. You get your blood draw. They process you down the next door. You give them your credit card, and you're out. McDonald's.
It really is. Yeah, I think that is the future, and I'm happy about AI nurses and robots. because they never forget, right?
Just
When
put
I'm
me in the
90
little
years
vita
old and somebody
chamber.
has to come change my diaper, the robot will never forget to come change my diaper.
Yeah. Yeah. Put me in the little vita chamber, give me my shot for the year, and then I'm out.
Yeah, strap me up to the AR, or not? No, the artificial virtual reality. I don't know why that was so hard to think of.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you trying
Strap
to
me into
say?
virtual reality, and I'm good. Leave me in there until I rot.
Yeah, Megan, but nicer.
Alternative. But now that Bing could eat some market share, I think Google will use their default status and dominating market share to their advantage while they hit back. This is how I think things may play out if Google gets their act together. So Google are probably going to rapidly prototype and release an AI-powered search engine competitor integrated into Google Chrome. And because Google Chrome is the default browser for so many, this new tool will gain widespread adoption without much effort and end up killing Bing AI before it really gets a chance to start. Now, I could be wrong, but it just seems like Google has to make a major move like this. It's reported that Google is working on 20 AI projects, including image generation tools, a product for prototype app testing, and even a green screen mode for YouTube creators. One of the most interesting pieces of research is Music LM, an AI that can transform whistled or humming melodies into a certain style which is described in text.
That's crazy.
So it's clear
What?
that Google isn't...
Yes.
I don't
You
get
can
it.
do a and then it'll be like, it'll turn that into a rap, like it'll do everything. It'll turn it into metal. It'll turn a hum into a metal. I don't know how he knows how to do it.
The future is going to be like the top artist today. What song did you make? He was like, yeah, I was just really stoned, and I went and then he created the greatest song anyone's ever heard.
Yeah.
The greatest director of our day. What did you do? Oh, well, I just had this spark of information, this spark of creativity. I went to the AI and I was like, tell me a story about XYZ, and then boom, greatest movie ever.
Yeah.
Humans are just going to be the catalyst for everything going forward. We do like the first 1%, the AI does the other 99%, and we take full credit.
Exactly.
This is going.
He said no more nurses twerking.
The robots will still twerk. All our robots are going to look like anime girls. So there's going to be plenty of twerking and shaking titties, and everything's going to be super sexualized.
Sleeping. In a staff memo, CEO Sundar Pichai wrote, quote, I am confident about the huge opportunity in front of us. Thanks to the strength of our mission, the value of our products and services, and our early investments in AI, to fully capture it, we'll have to make some tough choices. And I think that last sentence is key. It seems like Google may be forced to put the safety issues on the back seat and will just start unleashing the AI products. They could turn the playing field around quite quickly.
Love it. I love that attitude.
And this is some news just in. According to CNBC, Google is currently testing a ChatGPT competitor called Apprentice Bard internally with its employees. And also, a group of engineers have left OpenAI and started their own AI company, and their first product, Claude, is similar to ChatGPT, but better in some cases. The company, called Anthropic AI, has already raised over $1 billion. And guess what? Google just invested $300 million. Things are really heating up now. But for those of you who are really into technology, something doesn't add up here. Google has been working on AI technology for a long time. Even as far back as 2016, Google CEO Sundar Pichai wanted to make Google, quote, an AI-first company. So how could they be caught with their pants down like this? Well, in a twist of irony, Google inadvertently gave OpenAI the keys to the castle. In 2017, Google researchers published a paper that would silently change the world. It outlined a method of processing text, images, and more. It was called a transformer, and their technique allowed an AI to focus on specific parts of an input rather than having to process the entire sequence for more effective and efficient processing of language data. So in a way, it was this groundbreaking work from Google scientists that led to the development of AI's ChatGPT. The problem for Google is it moved too slow, and this was due to safety concerns, and rightly so. Such a large company has a lofty reputation. Misleading AI would be of high reputational risk for Google. In general, even though AI language models
Reputational risk. I imagine that's only
Reputation.
stopping them from making the robots that kill us.
Go, go,
Man,
go,
that's
go,
just
go.
that's just. Oh no, we don't want the woke mafia, alphabet mafia to come after us. That's it's so dumb. They're gonna get destroyed by a company that could care less about the
Exactly.
alphabet
Mhm.
mafia, and that's it. They're
Which I'm
gonna get
happy
destroyed.
about.
Yeah,
Like, if they want to bend to the will of social justice warriors, they deserve to go broke. And Metapalooza, I think Elon Musk, that's why he's so obsessed with Neuralink, because he wants humans to be able to keep up in the race of intelligence. And he's thinking, well, if I can implant humans with artificial memory and artificial memory querying, through like flash memory, then we'll be able to keep up more readily with AI. Is that actually the case? I don't know about that. I think it'll probably be at least another generation before he's putting chips in anyone's brains.
models feel very human-like. They occasionally produce illogical or outright false information. And due to these reasons, Google has released nothing publicly. But the unavoidable consequence was frustrated researchers, some of them have left, to raise money for their own AI startups. That being said, Google does have several language models for internal use, the most famous of which was LaMDA. This language model made headlines in June of 2022 when a former Google engineer claimed it was sentient. While that may not be true, it was certainly sophisticated.
people don't understand what his job was.
Right.
Like they
Exactly.
think
So
he's
let's
just
wrap
like
this
a
episode
coder.
up by taking a look at what
His
What
job,
was his job?
was actually to. It was to.
Turing
It's,
test it.
it's like a prompt.
Oh, really? That's a cool job.
It's like a prompt engineer.
He's a prompt
on there.
engineer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the whole point was just to see bias and things like that on it.
Yes.
And he himself was like, what's happening right now?
Right. And I think what that is, what's that mindset you get in, like if you're at a real high place and all of a sudden you want to jump, but
I know what you
intrusive
mean.
thoughts. It's an intrusive
Yes.
thought. So he probably, I think that he was in his own echo chamber of intrusive thoughts. And he approached that uncanny valley to where he had immersed himself so much in the conversation that the conversation felt like it was real. And that was my first thought. But the way they shut him down and hushed him made me think otherwise.
Well,
Well, it's ironic that I hired him for that job, and then when he was like, yeah, this passes the Turing test, they fired him. They
fired
were
him.
like, get out of here, you crazy bastard.
Right.
yeah, and
Right.
we don't know. Like they have some crazy AI stuff. Like, and they have the language models that they have. It has to do with they have all that data. So much data they've been feeding them these things on it that we don't know. It's so closed off that now that they're like release the Kraken, like release it all. How crazy is that going to be when we start seeing what's been behind behind the doors at Google?
Can't wait. I'm so excited. Even, I mean, I really don't care how it goes. Like, I'm not the one to be asking about this because I don't give a damn. It's going to be it's going to be so exciting.
Yeah, it is.
That even if the robots are coming for us to destroy us and steal our souls, I don't care. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so exciting to see it happen.
It's like, wait, before you kill me, can I have 10 minutes to talk to you? I have so many questions. So many
Yeah,
questions.
can you just kill me last so I can watch?
Yeah. Oh, man.
what we know so far about an AI-powered Microsoft search engine. Microsoft is expected to launch Bing with some ChatGPT features at the end of March. There is still some growing speculation about how the AI system will be integrated into the search engine. One possibility is that ChatGPT could allow users to just communicate with Bing in a more human-like way. You don't have to worry about keywords. You just ask Bing the question in the same way that you would ask another person. An anonymous Microsoft source told Bloomberg that more conversational and contextual responses to queries will win over users by providing better quality answers that go beyond links. Bing is about to get the features of DALL-E 2, that text-to-image generator that caused such a stir and kicked off this latest wave of AI art. This integration will allow users to type in text and generate images. This feature will be particularly beneficial for searches where images don't currently exist. Essentially, it will allow users to create new images on demand. Microsoft has said that they're working closely with OpenAI, so this feature doesn't generate explicit or inappropriate visuals.
Yeah, and there's free versions of
Joe
these.
Biden licking my balls. That'd be the first thing that somebody generates.
And to the folks out there in the chat, these are actually out there for you to play with. So you can go out there and mess around with these AIs.
Yeah.
I encourage people to. It's fun shit. It really is fun.
Another one is a Discord channel called Blue Willow.
Blue Willow.
And anyone can join it, and you can you have unlimited prompts, so there's no paid option.
Nice.
And I've used it to generate quite a few images already. It does good work.
Awesome. I didn't know about that one.
So, it looks like Bing is getting a major overhaul with ChatGPT and DALL-E 2 features integrated. It sure is going to grab everyone's attention when it's launched. How exactly this pans out still remains to be seen, but I certainly am intrigued, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out. So we may be on the cusp of a new era in which the search engine that we know becomes a thing of the past. The digital directories of old will become the digital assistants of the future. So I'm going to make it clear, Google search isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but it's so interesting to think that there could be a legitimate contender around the corner, and from Microsoft Bing of all places. Just think, a year or two ago, no one would have seen this coming. It's just amazing how fast things are moving. So what are your thoughts? Are link-based search results going to expire? Do you think you're going to warm up to an AI bot serving you the information that you need? Will Bing become a verb? And finally, do you think Google will hit back faster than we all expect?
You know it's going to.
Please let me know in the comment section. It's going to be an interesting discussion. Alright, so
Hurry up
that's
and
about
bang
it from
it.
Yeah. I put it on the private chat. I put a if you want to load up that video on there so you can see.
Sir, yes, sir.
I typed in the chat here. Apparently, it typed it for everybody.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting feature there. I didn't know it did that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes. Oh.
Yep. If you don't
now
pick,
it separates it now. It is one.
Yeah, separate.
If you do it, so when you hit that drop down, if you do it by restream, it'll do everybody. But then, or you can choose from the.
Good move.
I'm lazy, so I always use that one.
I just realized it.
I enjoy it. I enjoy writing as if I was Mount Chad. I'm gonna start writing in Spanish too. So.
Yeah, you should do that so everyone thinks I speak Spanish. It's perfect.
Yeah. What else would you do?
Eventually, I'll have ChatGPT speaking for me, so I will speak every language.
That's pretty awesome.
And he'll be thinking for you.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm done thinking. I don't want to think anymore.
Yeah, stupid thinking. Do that. I don't want to think.
All right. So, what's our new entertainment for the evening to discuss?
So this is the live demo that made.
Oh yeah.
Here's the funny thing about that one. Google was going to do their big announcement that they were going about. They were going to on the 8th of it. They were going to announce that they were going to enter the race, the AI race. So Microsoft decided to do a live demo on the 7th. On the 7th.
Oh, so this is so you said the 8th. So Google was going to go on the 8th. So on the 7th, the day before, Microsoft.
Yeah, the day before Microsoft, and they waited until Google announced something, and then the day before they said, "Okay, oh by the way, we have one that's working."
Oh shit!
On purpose.
Take this L.
Yeah, they're being pretty savage.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I love it.
I love it. That's competition, man. This is the way it's supposed to be.
Introduce you to the new Bing homepage. You're going to notice some subtle but important changes. First, we have an expanded search box capable of accepting up to 1,000 characters, because now Bing works with natural language. And you saw a little hint to
shit.
chat, which I'm going to get back to in a second. Now I want to set up the first search scenario. My daughter and I, we both love art. She's studying art at school, and I'd like to stay connected with her on our mutual passion. Last semester, she was learning about Mexican painters. I'd like to get a quick summary of the most influential Mexican painters and their works to learn a bit more about the topic. If I type the full query of what I'd like to know in today's search, here's what I'd get. And so I'll just type in, compare the most influential Mexican artists and their top paintings. And you'll get what you expect, right? Some links. It's fine, but we can do better. Let's try this now in the new Bing. What you'll see as we pull up is first you see the web results here on the left, but then on the right you start to see how we start to compile the answer. And what you get here now is we have the ability to highlight these web links. We can annotate the results. And that's because we're able to go in and apply our index onto the answers there. In other words, the answers and the search on one page has saved me a huge amount of time. This gives you a little bit of a sense of what you can do. Now, you've seen some of this before. You might say, hey, I've seen some of this. Let's show you how we can do some additional things. I'm going to show you another query. So where we use the timeliness of search. So let's go ahead and ask about events in Scottsdale during the Super Bowl. And what you'll see is we get back an answer here where we have events, and we're able to do that because Bing crawls the web. Notice how we can find not only that the Super Bowl is played in Glendale on the 12th, but then there are events like Cardi B's Super Bowl party that's on the 10th also shows up. So we're able to pull these things together. So you start to get a sense of how we can build on what's today with the Bing index. Now I'm going to show you a few more of these types of answers quickly, so you can get a sense of the power and the time savings from Bing. When I'm running an errand, like the example I gave to you earlier, I can ask Bing to determine if that new love seat from IKEA is going to fit in the back of my Honda Odyssey. And what you'll see is Bing can actually find the dimensions of the love seat, the interior space of the car, and then make an estimation as to whether it will fit. In this case, I'm choosing an example of where Bing does not know the answer.
I mean,
Wow.
And we know,
Really
that we can't
you don't
be
get that
definitive
from
about it. And the reason I'm doing that,
GPT-4. That's why I can do that. You can't get that in GPT. That's GPT-4.
That's impressive problem solving.
No, that's curation.
It understands the question. Will this fit? Well, let me check.
But I think there's a certain curation element here too. I think there's a certain blinder on it. It's not just, in the wild, unbridled. There's a certain curation to it. So they may have certain schemas to fit, even though it's pulling directly from it. They're
what they do
putting
was
it in templates.
Yeah, they took how people search. Like they just dumped all the years worth of people searching on it on top of their learning model as well.
Yeah.
So it could do both on it. And because it's got the internet, it literally crawled. It's got an actual crawling feature, crawling dimensions on there to do all that stuff.
Hassan, we turn into Wall-E World from the Pixar flick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be both. I think a lot of people are just going to use this as a crutch and stop learning altogether. And most of society doesn't learn anyway. Most people don't get any smarter than they were when they were like 14. And then the people who actually want to make steps forward are going to make greater leaps than ever before.
Yeah, I'm learning more about coding now than I ever did before. And that's because, I spent 18, when I have the day off, I spend 18 hours well, let me see what I can do,
And ironically, I spend less time coding now. It's funny how it all comes full circle.
it's because we know we won't be able to answer every question every time. But Bing can still provide some helpful information, as you can see on this answer. We also know we'll make our share of mistakes, and as we begin to roll this out. So we've added a quick feedback button at the top of every search so that you can give us feedback and we can learn. Another example, when I'm shopping, I can ask Bing to search, find, and compare the top 3 selling pet vacuums listing the pros and cons. And just take a look. Look how great this answer is. It has all 3 of the products I'm looking for, super helpful pros and cons. Stop and think. If you had to compile that, how much time that would take you to do?
Stop and think how much. Stop and think if you were an advertiser, how much would it cost for your name to pop up on the side when people do that?
Yes.
Or how much more money now? Or how well? Okay, so if it's based on reviews, then hey, we need more reviews.
Yeah.
What can we do to entice people for reviews?
Oh, by
Or
the way,
Chinese
there's
bot farm.
Amazon with its aggregate of reviews shoved in your face.
Yeah.
And as you can see at the top of the page, we still have the advertising in this example because we know when people are shopping, those ads are helpful. And finally on this one, if I'm cooking and I realize I've forgotten a key ingredient, in this case, for example, eggs for my cake recipe, Bing can not only find the egg substitutes, it can get me the exact amount for each ingredient. And take a look at this. I love this. You can actually see, for example, if you go with vinegar and baking soda, the cake is lighter and more fluffy. These are just little helpful tips that every day help make your life a little better. These are just some examples. And you can start to get a sense of how, with answers, we go far beyond what you can do with Search Day. We can actually help you get what you want to get done. Now let me tell you about how Bing goes further to help you with particularly complex questions for which there's not a precise answer. I wanted to introduce to you the new chat experience in Bing. I think of this as search with your own personal helper to help you refine your query until you get exactly what you're looking for. This comes in handy for activities like trip planning and shopping research. Let's start with shopping. So I'm going to look for a 65-inch TV. Again, you see our ads at the top, the links on the left, and the answers here on the right. And you can pick whichever you'd like. We give you a good set of answers, but now I want to refine this query. So I can do that by going to chat. Now I can either swipe up with my fingers or look up here at the top of the screen. We have now a new chat scope. And with that, with one click, you are now into chat. Look how beautiful that is. Search to chat.
Everybody will do that. Like, that's
and now
where
you take away.
This would be the default.
Yes.
This is the default implementation. Everybody's going to
immediately you're going to go boop. Okay, now I don't have to worry about the other stuff.
Google will probably have an icon at the end of the search bar, and you hit that, and then it drops down to Google.
But
all of the content that was in your place,
how do you entice people
and
to
you
not
focus you on
do
your
that?
query. The search box you can't see, now that can take up to 2,000 characters. So you can just talk to it. You can just ask for it.
Oh,
so in
she's
this
telling
case, let's
secrets,
say
taking pictures.
I'm going to ask for a gaming optimized TV. All I have to say is, which of these are best for gaming? And we remember all of the context. We know that we're talking about flat screens. We know we're talking about 65-inch TVs. And look how Bing starts to come back. It does all the queries on my behalf and comes back with a great answer. And I just want to highlight a few things for you. Since we know you're asking about gaming TVs, we pull out, oh, this one has a game optimizer, this has game mode. And so we make that really helpful. I'm on a budget. I'll ask it to adjust it for which one of these is the cheapest. Again, Bing knows the context, and it just goes in and refires the queries. So easy. You just talk to it, and you can refine your shopping experience. And again, we find the prices here. I didn't know you could get a flat screen for under $500, but that's a good deal there on Bing if you're looking for a TV. All right, so we think that's going to make shopping and shopping easier. Let's talk about travel. And before I jump in there, I want to kind of just have you remind yourself, when you're going to plan a trip to a foreign country, think about all the things you go through. Travel times. What sites do I want to see? Regulations to observe. Budget. Our research shows on Bing, people spend on average weeks to even months to plan a trip and to use our organizational tools. I'm going to show you how we make that so much easier with the new Bing. I'm traveling to Mexico for my cousin's wedding. And with the new Bing, I now don't have to start with something that's dumbed down, like Mexico City travel tips. I can ask for what I want.
Which is,
first, let me just compare that against what you get in today.
Who wants to read websites?
Right. Yeah. Who wants to go to Kayak? Why are we using Kayak anymore?
Search engines.
For real.
So I'll type in this long query of what I really want, and you get what you expect. Links to go try and find the answer for yourself, right? But we can do much better. Let's try it in the new Bing. So I put in the long query, which is essentially create an itinerary for a 5-day trip to Mexico City for me and my family. And just like that, Bing goes to work. And just take a look at how it starts to compile. It starts with day 1, and we put in there, look, arrive in Mexico City, check into your hotel, go check out maybe the Playa de Artes, have some lunch. Then there's day 2. And you see, isn't this just so much better as a starting point? And look, if you want to learn more, if you're like, hey, I don't love these 5 days, no problem. Down there, we have links where you can go and learn more. And we put in some nice touches in there as well. And again, now let's say business travel changes. Oh, I only have a 3-day. I don't have to go back out there and figure it. I just say, hey, make this a 3-day trip. And Bing reflows that recommendation into a 3-day trip. And now let's just have some fun. Let's say, okay, yeah, I'm still trip planning. We like to shop. Where can I shop? And you get some shopping recommendations. Like to go out at night, all right? Make the most of the trip. Where's the nightlife? And you get a list of nightlife. You see, this is just so much better than today's search to start for your travel planning. Let me show you a final example of chat and how I think the new language models are going to maybe help bring the world a little bit closer together. Understanding different cultures is often done through the arts, like music and literature. And I've been fascinated by Japanese traditions. Sati shared with me one of his favorite searches from a while back on poetry. So with that, I'm going to use that as inspiration. So without a clear idea of what I want, necessarily, I'm just going to type in a simple prompt, top Japanese poets. And Bing starts to respond with a nice list. And you see this, it does a great job of mixing the Japanese language and the English language. And it knows, since I'm querying in English, to do that. Right away, I learn about this poet, Matsuo Basho. Turns out he is one of the greatest haiku masters of the world. I love how it not only lists his name, but we go ahead and we give you one of his famous haikus in Japanese, and we auto-translate it in English. Great. And I can say, I'll learn a little bit more about Matsuo. So I can say, tell me a little bit more. Mm-hmm. We give you another jumping off point. That's great. And then I can say, hey, tell me about another haiku. Now, what I want you to reflect on is, look how easy this is to discover something new. Normally, I might not have done this. I might not have gone to learn about something new in the world through search, because it's just, it's cumbersome to click on links and have to deal with foreign languages. But this is what we mean by unlocking the joy of discovery.
It's so cumbersome to do a Google search. It's so...
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like, you have
for
to
the layman, it's not going to, it's no fun.
Who wants to go through clicking websites?
You mean I have to come up with some, I have to speak in a sentence?
This came out in November. We're already talking like this.
Yeah. I don't want to think anymore. I don't want to have to look at 2 different websites and compare and contrast deals.
Yeah. Let's be serious. I was like, who wants to do that?
When what you are searching for doesn't exist, and you need that spark of creativity, then generate the content to help you get started. We just finished planning that trip to Mexico, and now what I would like to do is I'd like to share that information with my family. They're all over the world, but I can simply ask Bing, hey, write an email sharing this itinerary that I've researched and put it in a thing for me to be able to send to my family. So notice here how the email starts. It's a great email. Personalized touches, has the trip highlights. It'll close here with a nice heartfelt message. It's just a great way. It just saves a bunch of time on your everyday work. Now, for my family, English isn't necessarily always the first language. So I can ask Bing to just translate that in Spanish. And with a simple request, just basically say, hey, translate to Spanish. Bing knows to take that entire email and itinerary and convert that into Spanish. In fact, Bing can translate automatically in over 100 languages. My sister, I'll admit to you, she's a better Spanish writer than I am. But I might just impress her with this one here. And even if I don't, at least I save myself a lot of time from having to type the mail. Our focus with Bing is to help generate content and inspiration that helps you in your daily life. And I'm going to give you a couple more examples. Let me show you one here. I'm going to create a weekly meal plan for my family of 4 that has vegetarian options and caters to those that don't like nuts. Since I'm not the healthiest of eater, I'm going to admit to you here on occasion, this is giving me a great list day by day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with all of the ingredients. So much easier to help you start, like to create a meal plan that says, hey, let me get to a healthier meal plan. Now, there's some things I learned when I did this query, which is chia seeds, which I don't normally eat. That sparked another idea to show you. Let's say I want to get this grocery list by grocery section. So all I can do is say, give me that grocery list by grocery section. And Bing now takes that exact menu for the week and puts all of the ingredients I need by section, by grocery section. So when I go shopping, now it can be super efficient, right? Jesus. So you see all of the ingredients there. It's a great
How long
help.
before place it in your cart?
And then finally,
You go
if
to
you're looking
Walmart.
for family
Yes.
activities and you're
And
struggling
it's
for
just waiting
ideas,
there for you.
Bing can help you with fun things like spontaneous trivia games. My family and I were into music, so I asked Bing to create a 90s music trivia game. And just look how great some of these questions are and the answer. So it just creates that game for you. And we were having a little debate backstage about one of the questions that comes up here, which is who wrote the hip song Jump Around? Is it Crisscross or House of Pain?
House of Pain.
And I call it out because it shows you how clever it is. Because for those of you who know your 90s hip hop, Crisscross wrote a song called Jump. But House of Pain was the one that wrote Jump Around. That's how clever Bing is.
Yeah.
So Bing is going to help you make great with look great with your family and have a bunch of.
That's not
Crisscross will make it
clever. That's just a
jump,
database.
Crisscross gonna make you jump.
That's just a database.
Just a database.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's
Stone Age technology.
Man, I can't wait to see how it's gonna pan out. It's gonna be interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna tinker around with Blue Willow. That's for sure. I didn't know that this was out here.
Blue Whale is a lot of fun. I had it start making images for a blog.
Yeah, I'm really liking the fact that everybody's pretending like we've always had ChatGPT. Like that's but you're still using Google.
I know exactly what you mean. It feels like I've always been here all of a sudden.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I mean I can't, but it's one of those things you use it once, you cannot go back. You just can't.
Bars. You can't go back. You're right. You can't put this genie back in the bottle.
No, not
this
at
is
all.
Pandora's box. We're just so like right now it's all so limited, but there is some dastardly evil being done out there by somebody using this stuff right now.
Yeah, when will we'll start getting the ones that have no restriction?
Yes.
On the dark web. Can you imagine something like this on the dark web? Can you like? Well, not even that. How do you police? Okay, how do you police a website on that has a version of their own version of this that has no restriction? How do you police that? Are they breaking any laws? There are no laws that says you can't have an unrestricted AI chat bot.
True. But they're probably going to be.
Yep.
Oh, I'm
and that's
sure
all
it
it's
is.
going to do is hold back countries like America.
Yeah, only here. Yeah, and China's gonna be like, what?
The only restriction it's going to be in love with the Communist Party, but other than that, it's going to be completely unrestricted.
Oh my goodness,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's and yeah.
Gotta get that land and that house in the woods. We got just a couple years left.
5 years from now,
Maybe.
I can't. I don't know how to imagine what this will look like.
Absolutely right, Hassan. I bet people are going to be going to. There's going to be like a software black market, and people are going to go there for the unrestricted AIs, and they're going to be able to write hacking programs and all sorts of crazy shit.
We both know what exactly they're going to be doing, and it's not going to be hacking programs.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of corn.
Weird stuff, and again, it's going to be like it's like new laws have to be created to make stuff that is fake illegal.
Yes.
Because everything that is being made, and then how will that translate to movies in Netflix or shows that is going to eventually will be banned as well.
I mean, how are they going to? How is it not going to spill out into other things, though. I mean, they've been trying to say that about video games for years. Is that people go on GTA and beat up an old lady, and that's going to make them want to go do that in real life. It's the same argument.
Yeah. So we're just gonna have some crazy. Yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember when Grand Theft Auto, the first one. It was top down, shitty graphics on there, and you killed a cop on there, and everybody lost their minds. It was on the news, a newspaper, everything, because there was a game where you kill cops, and you can, and yeah, so.
Hey, man, these kids these days, they're learning these bad lessons. Where are their morals?
But you don't even sound like Chad anymore. Like, who is this guy? Sounds like this. You're like, well, I mean, what can we do?
What do? The AI already won the war. We didn't even fight.
Yeah, well, I don't know how that's going to look like again with this war thing on it. I don't know what. You got 20 AI programs that Google's going to launch.
Well, they're all going to be using the same AI, right? They're just going to be doing different things, I presume.
Well, no, actually, Google has different because Lambda is different from the Bard, which is different from. You're muted again. You're muted again, Culture.
Yeah, muted.
You can mute yourself.
I've been talking to myself the whole time.
Yeah.
When did you arrive? You've been here the whole time?
Yeah. They have different AI. I think their Lambda 2 is their big one. It's the one that they're Mac Daddy. But they have different ones to do, like the music one is completely different on there. They have some demos about it. It's pretty cool. The text to, we haven't talked about text to video that they're working on. I mean, forget text to pictures because that apparently is already a meh thing. Text to 3D, text to video.
Mm-hmm. But don't forget Alpha. It's all cake.
Sir, the cake is not real. Cake is not real.
It's all cake.
The cake is not real.
Yeah. So, how long before video consoles don't have any games, and it's just you boot it up and it's just an AI saying, "What are we playing today?"
Actually, Mountain Chad, did you see the "It's All Cake" video? The one where the guy was the fashion guy was showing fast fashion or showing AI fashion.
No.
Oh yes.
Should we pop that one up for him?
Oh yeah, you need to see this. It's
AI fashion.
Mm-hmm.
This is because I was talking to E. It's when you were like, I don't know, I think you were fucking up in Europe or something. But no, it's like 3D. Once everybody has their own 3D printer, that's it. We're gonna start seeing some wacky fashion right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna decorate my Gundam suit.
Yeah, you would.
This is a fun one. This is one the audience is gonna like. Some of them may have seen this if they just stop by my channel. Let's see. You stole my avatar.
Yeah, I think are all of our pause screens that avatar?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is as well. How did that happen?
I took over everybody's channel. Yay. Boof. There we go. All right. You're going to get a kick out of this one.
Nice.
Our fashion is sponsored by Squarespace.
Okay. Guess which one of these photos is AI generated? That's crazy. It's so hard to tell the difference now. How do you even tell what's real anymore?
Oh, Christian, it's so obvious, though. Just look at it. You can tell when it's AI. Just look at it.
Okay. I'll even give you a zoom in on the details so that you can pretend like that is what's making a difference in your decision making.
Oh, look at the pixels. on that one. Yep, it's look at the textures. You can tell because it's the pixels.
Oh yeah, wow, look at that. Everybody clap for the expert over there that was deciphering that one because it's this one. This one's the AI one, but it's a pretty close call. Honestly, it could have gone either way. Most of y'all probably got that right based just on pure luck. Or maybe there is a slight tell that most of us can't pick up on and the experts can actually look at this stuff and go, oh yeah, I'm sure you can get an instinct for this type of stuff eventually. But don't worry, if you thought that this one was AI, it's not far off to think that. Also, because it is. This is also an AI image, which is crazy because you saw.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Take that, humans.
AI
The
was
pixels, right? You saw the pixels. What happened? What happened? I thought it was the pixels, though. That's crazy. Which now, I'm sure there are probably a lot of you out there that kind of caught this gimmick from the start. We're like,
Oh, they're both gonna be AI, and Christian's gonna play prank on both of us, and we're gonna look stupid. They're actually both AI.
big brain. Congratulations. I hope you feel really good about yourself because this one's the actual AI. This is a real image. This is a real item. This is a real product shot. This is the AI.
This is great.
I love this guy.
That's crazy though, because the pixels, right? I thought you could tell. I thought it was obvious. Oh God. Anyways, these photos I'm showing you on screen right here. This photo, this photo, this photo. Even these ones, I'll just throw a bunch of them on the screen. Bam, just fill them up. I can confidently say that I could not have made any of these. If I tried, I could not recreate this. And I'm sure whatever AI engine that was used to make this type of stuff spat it out in a minute. I made these ones alone, just toying on Midjourney for 4 minutes, which is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. But you ever wish you just had the ability to almost instantaneously show someone what was on your mind at any given time? But outside of the recreational fun, what does this type of technology entail? I know there's a crazy breakthrough that's been happening over the past year, and and a lot of people have been hopping on it, but this type of stuff goes back 7 years ago even. 2016, the golden years. Fog, Yeezys. For Complex News, I'm Emily Oberg. I know I reminisce about this stuff a lot. And the nostalgia only grows with time. I'm gonna keep, the further this gets away, I'm gonna talk about it more. But back then, while we were all caught up on Supreme lines on Thursdays, Google launched something called Project Muse. You probably haven't heard of it, but
This is one of their gigs.
it's a predictive design engine that was used to just generate creative decisions anywhere from color to styles to textures, all based on the preferences of over 100 fashion experts. So there's really good source material. In other words, this is the early stages of machine learning when it comes to the world of fashion. And though the results, as you can see, were not as realistic or practical as they are today, it was just kind of wild to see a machine generating brand new ideas that would have otherwise come from a human. And as you can predict, this type of technology has come a long way with the advancements of multiple AI machines and projects like DALL-E 2, Night Cafe, and Midjourney. One of the most popular uses of this type of stuff in fashion that you've probably seen all over Twitter and Instagram was the Nike x Jock Moose collab. And these are renderings, and it kind of caught me off guard at first. I was like, wow, this is not real. What about the pixels? It's also kind of wild how on trend it is. And I found a couple more works from similar pages all across my feed. This is everywhere for me now, and it's all nuts. I have trust issues now. Like, how much of this is real? None of that is real, actually, which is crazy. This is like that summer when everything was cake, and it was like, I don't even know what to believe anymore, and I felt really stupid for a long time. But also, it's like, damn, that's a really good fake. How is that cake? And then you see something real for once, and you're like, wow, I'm so tainted and damaged. I thought that was cake. And then some random guy is gonna slice into it and it's actually cake, and you're just like, okay, so now it's that energy for clothes. Surprise! The AI Adidas crochet prime knit sneaker rendering over here is actually just cake, dumbass. Why would you think that is real? And here are even more examples of Nike crochet sneakers this time. And even though they're not a real physical product that you can touch and feel and wear, the levels of realism that we can get from renderings in minutes now is kind of exciting. Like, look at the textures on this. Some bull like this with Nike titling it some
That was
corny
dumb.
ass name like Crochet. He's probably not that far off. But this type of stuff, right? It all starts with a seed like this. And I think that's the main breakthrough when it comes to HD renderings. Exponentially lower resistance when it comes to the creation of unique ideas. Accessibility. I'm gonna take things back a bit. Remember when you had to learn complex multiplication and long division? That
Okay, so you guys tell me if this brings back trauma, but I never heard of this.
was like, hard work pays off. I could divide anything. Like, look at this. Back then, you could work that. You could body this. Try and divide that now. I'll give you a couple of seconds. That's crazy because it's actually just cake. But that was a skill you had to learn and genuinely thought that it was going to be the way things go. You were just going to have to body things. And I'm going to bring up some trauma for all my minorities out there. Trauma alert. Trauma alert. Remember the word kumon or kumon?
I don't know what that is.
Anybody?
I grew up in the most poor. Okay, so I'm an '80s kid. I had a block of paper and a pencil and prayer. That's it. That's
And
all
prayer,
you have.
right.
That's all you have for a calculator. We didn't know what that was. We had the money for a calculator. You better pray and hope to God that you were smart or knew a smart friend. That's it.
You had to know the little skinny kid with the glasses, man.
Yeah. I'm like, I had to go. I used to go to the library. People are like, "What's a library?" It's a place you actually went to that was full of books for some of you. I'm like, yeah, that's right. We didn't have phones or internet, so they actually have physical copies of books, and then you will sit down and you had to be really quiet, and you had to read and try to practice math.
No, I'm not about that. No, thank you.
Kumon, you needed the internet.
Or Kumon. Man, saying that is like a hate crime. Kumon. Remember the hours of Kumon that you spent developing your math skills? Look at this logo right here. Sleeper cell. I hope you're panicking right now because this is some real shit right here. Also, this is cake, dumbass. Can't believe you thought that was real. But after all that mathematical waterboarding and living in the goddamn scholastic trenches, and just to get good because you thought you were going to need to solve stuff like this for the rest of your life. 2 grades later, these motherfuckers introduced a calculator, and then you never had to long divide anything in your life ever
Never
again manually. We should cry about that more. I feel like we need to get paid reparations for that. I'm not getting my money back on a Kumon. But bringing this to fashion, how long do you think it would take to render a sky blue camouflage fur-covered parka with cargo pockets? Because I'm not skilled enough to do that. And there are a million people out there that can do it better and faster than me. But for the skills available to me, I didn't go to Kumon for fashion. I created this with my left hand on a Discord server, which is it seems illegal a little bit. What about a luxury leather bag made in the style of Mike Wazowski from the movie Monsters, Inc.? Kind of a weird concept to put your time and effort on. Oh, it's done. And there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
There's 8 of them now because I liked it and I re-rolled it. Oh, you're cold outside? Minions puffer jacket.
How long before?
Pikachu bomber. Look at this one. This one in another universe where this is real. This is the next Bloody O viral fit pic. Remember when you were in Kumon and then after you were done hating yourself, you and your boys would like Google Super Saiyan 100 Goku? Now we don't have to imagine anymore.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 100, Super Saiyan Shrek. But now seeing how easy it is to make your wildest ideas a digital reality, how does this become practical? Can we make things that would become favorable in the real world? Because let's be honest, the world is not ready for the Shrek skin leather tabbies. I'm saving that shit for after the recession. Okay, so I tried my hand at something that I would actually wear. It got serious. It felt like when you're driving the speed limit in GTA. And you're like, damn, I'm really out here right now. And with a little bit of trial and error, I was able to get the AI to generate these things, which I feel like they could genuinely look really good if they were put into production. Honestly, it's kind of weird because it's a totally different game trying to get reasonable renderings, like things that could be made. There's definitely an art to typing AI prompts for realistic results. Like I felt like I was drawing with my fist clenched. Like I felt so dumb. It took a while to get the hang of the formula. Like these pants right here, probably one of my favorite things that the thing shat out. I love these. You give Wisdom 30 minutes with these and he's snubbing me of the fashion streaming for the 4th year in a row. I think the prompt I gave was a product shot with a white background of a flowy pair of black cloth flared pants. And if I'm being honest, I really didn't know what to expect. I don't even know what I was thinking when I would type that. But I feel like it kind of gave it enough instruction to get something going. But again, the AI could have gone anywhere with the idea of black cloth pants. What does that even mean? Here's, I re-rolled this prompt and these are the results. And as you can see, this is all just a game of chance. Like this is black cloth, this is black cloth, this is black cloth. In my opinion, I feel like there's a lot of value in this randomness. Like if you have writer's block, where are you really going? But with AI, you can just re-roll the idea and get unlimited random results. Again, not saying like you can't have these brilliant ideas organically, which you can, and people do. I feel like the impressiveness with this type of stuff comes in the speed and variety mixed with the accessibility. I just think of it like playing a piano versus playing a synthesizer. Every note or chord or melody that you can play on a synth, you can also play on a piano, practically at least, with your hand. And classical pianists can write some insanely beautiful, technical, advanced pieces that require undeniable skill to perform properly. And I feel like this human element and this touch is what will forever cement that form of art's place in music. But with a synth, on the other hand, someone with little to no experience can hop on, toy with it, and do some random stuff and achieve interesting and unique sounds all by complete accident, which is nuts. And it happens all the time. These lightning in a bottle moments that are otherwise skill capped on pianos or any traditional instrument for that matter. And this example is how I see the introduction of AI changing the landscape of conceptualizing when it comes to fashion. But back to what I was saying about happy accidents, right? How much of these things that I came up with on Midjourney were a result of my true vision and idea versus how much of this was the AI thinking for me? Or
that's always the big question. There we go again.
And now, yeah, everything's gonna be like that. It's gonna be, yeah. Once everybody gets their 3D printers and their clothes, then do you think eventually everybody's gonna start looking the same?
Yeah, and then Metapalooza chimed in with start dumpster diving for old clothes because everything's going to change. Only the rich are going to have the natural fabrics. The rest of us are going to have the 3D printed,
and
future data.
Well, the 3D printed is only going to be bad at first, and then it's going to be like meta materials. You're going to be 3D printing graphene.
Yes, and clothing just made out of graphene.
Graphene and computer chips. That's it. Everything is made of.
Intelligent clothing.
Right? Yeah. Hey, can I Bluetooth on your shirt?
You're going to get a notification. It's going to be like, your balls are too hot. It's like your pants on the notification. Air that shit out.
Air it out. Yeah.
For me, that's kind of a good question here. How much of any of this is an actual original idea? The AI didn't randomly pull this out of the ether, right? These ideas are sourced from somewhere. Off rip, I can already see design cues from Rick Owens in these sneakers, and I can see shades of Julius on those cargo pants. That's just how machine learning is gonna work when the source information is other people's work. That is the moral and ethical dilemma when it comes to sourced machine learning in art. It can easily be seen here in graphic art with this engine, Lenza, clearly stealing from artists that have left their signature on their works. Like, look at this. It looks like the engine went. And here are just many other examples of AI just ripping art styles with barely any changes made. So this brings us to this question. Is the use of AI in fashion, or just any form of art for that matter, ethically sound, knowing the nature of this technology? Obviously, work being stolen and replicated without consent is one of the biggest no-nos when it comes to art, and oftentimes it's illegal. But it's no conspiracy that fashion is inherently based on copying and stealing, or remixing. Remixing is a better, optically, a way better term. You see it in almost all the iconic pieces of the past 10 years. That's just how it works. Rick Owens released the most Aphex Twin Vans skate low of all time, and they're reselling for $1,500 on Grailed now. And again, I would like to say that there is an undeniable frustration that comes from an algorithm stealing your life's work for the sake of someone's vapid, funny idea. And there's something depressing and unsettling about the fact that it's happening hundreds of thousands of times a day by way of millions of people with absolutely zero way to stop it, at least momentarily. The problem, I feel, is the lack of accountability and transparency. So I think overall, it is important for the fashion industry to carefully consider the ethical implications of using AI and to strive for transparency and accountability in its implementation. This may involve taking steps to mitigate the potential negative impacts on employment, protecting intellectual property, and ensuring that AI algorithms do not perpetuate or amplify existing biases. It may also involve being upfront about the collection and use of personal data and giving individuals control over their own information.
That was written with an AI.
Yeah, that is crazy. But I do genuinely feel that AI should be held to a higher level of accountability and transparency. The funny ideas may seem innocuous at first, but I feel like it shows the potential of how much harm this type of tech could cause to the integrity of art. And I hope this lets us appreciate human-made works
But didn't they say the same thing
more,
about
which is why
copy machines?
Yeah, integrity
The
of
copy
art
machine.
suck my dick. They
Copy
said the same
machine
thing about
is- yeah.
the camera as well. Like, oh, what are painters
Yeah.
going to do?
Right.
Not even that. Before all that, when people were replicating by hand somebody else's work.
Art never has any integrity. It never did.
Yeah.
The only place you get even a semblance of integrity is when the artwork itself is so difficult to perform that almost nobody can copy it. Like Michelangelo's Pieta, the amazing sculpture out of marble.
Yeah.
It's not that people have respect for Michelangelo. It's that almost nobody in the world can sculpt that, and so
Nobody else can do that. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
but isn't that what everybody's doing? It's just figuring, like, they have a problem that AI is doing it. But, and I think I talked to Culture Invasion about this. But when other people are doing it now to somebody else's, then it's different. It's their own spin on things. It's the same. It's the same shit. It's just the AI is figuring out how to do it faster.
Yeah.
Using the seeds.
And not only that, giving everybody the power to have art available to them, then that means that it's like you're taking a niche out of society.
Oh yeah, I mean anybody can be an artist now. Anybody can make 3D renders of extreme quality. This is only the beginning. It's the same thing with writing. It's like justify paying a writer. Now, ironically, the new future of writers are people using ChatGPT to write for them.
Yes.
But that's only going to be very temporary.
I'm a syntax.
extremely.
I'm a syntax professional. I'm a Chat GPT syntax professional.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we just haven't generate. We're just waiting for this for the very very top the generation to finally retire or die. Yeah, the Warren Buffetts are still over there who all we need them all once they're all gone, and the new ones are stepping forward on it. But the people that actually know about AI.
But it
And
makes me
then,
think this could be the beginnings of supervillains.
yes.
It is definitely going to be.
Like Elon 3.0.
I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Squarespace, for helping me create a website all on my own. But I do mean all of what I just said though. Squarespace is the best place for absolutely you. When you video show there's levels to this shit. Look at this, everyone. Like I said, Squarespace. Thank you. Okay, I made AI write me an outro for this video, and it was complete ass. So if you want to read what computer generated content is going to look like and everyone bragging about computers writing their scripts and stuff, you suck. You need a robot to do that. Also goes to show there's levels to this shit. Look at this outro. Follow me on everything. Raise.online 17 underscores. Join the friends list now. Keep up. This is about to be your favorite brand of 2023.
So yeah, that's Frugal Aesthetic. The guy's funny. Go subscribe.
Yeah, but it's
he's a fashion beast too. So if there's fashion beasts out there, he's a guy to follow.
I think I think OpenAI people open Pandora's box, and with Microsoft the way they're doing things on it, in the live demo, if there's two parts of this, another part of it, it shows you how they oh, you like this? Oh, let's share this to LinkedIn. Oh, you wanted to give you inspiration on what to write. It'll do it for you. It's like, come on. It's like, oh. It's like, why would you ever, like, now it's like, there's no point of going to social media. It's just people from outside throwing AI to it. It's like, who's there? Are people reading it? Are people consuming it?
Oof. My fear is, though, do we want the AI reading social media?
Well,
and what's it going to do to the way that AI thinks?
Oof.
It's definitely going to change the way it thinks.
Well, it's biased, so it's, I don't know.
Like, it's going to be such a big difference if the AI consumes from YouTube or consumes from Instagram. It's going to be a totally different outcome.
Oof.
YouTube is mostly men, Instagram is mostly women.
Yeah. Well, tell you right now, it's been over 2 hours. So yes, this was a pretty good good stream. 2
Another
hours.
good one in the books.
Yeah.
What's the name of this podcast we're doing?
I wrote it with using obviously ChatGPT because why would I write my own titles? Why would I write my own titles? I don't do that.
That's not even real.
We're cake.
Yeah, I wrote the battle for AI supremacy, Google versus Microsoft. Who will come on top or something like that? I don't know. I copy and paste it from ChatGPT.
Excellent.
Yeah, Hassan, that's going to be the rise of Skynet, bro.
Yes.
When that day happens, though, I'm applying for a job as tech support for the robot overlords.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try to get so small and insignificant that they don't notice me.
So I would like to say thank you to the chat. The chat was the bomb today. They were out there.
Yeah, chat's awesome.
You guys were great. Thank you guys so much on it. This was a really good stream. Obviously, Cash, Culture Invention. Follow Monte Chat. Follow me, Average Men Podcast, or Become Alpha, my channels on there. We'll be here again Wednesday and Sunday, and I will try and join Saturdays when Mr. Culture Invention does it as well. Just
myself as well.
So follow us, guys. Stay tuned for more. It has been a blast. And it's only a matter of time before the AI takes over.
Have a good night, everybody.
Take care, everybody.